Hare Krishna to everyone. Let us start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadareshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevayam Bhagatya Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanaya Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tada Swapadandikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanashute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छकल्पदारूप्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all to this short Bhagavadam class on behalf of NND Prabhuji, Kulai, ISKCON Mangalore, Kulai. So today we'll be taking up with the sloka number 15. Before going into the sloka, so can anyone tell what is the chapter name of this particular canto we are discussing currently?
The discussion
between Bharata Maharaj and Raghu.
Yes, the conversation, correct na? So the conversation between Bharata Maharaj, means Jadabharata and King Rahuguna, Maharaj Rahuguna. So this is only the conversation, because the next chapter will be King Rahuguna will be receiving the knowledge. That is the real knowledge from the sage, great sage Jadabharata. So now the discussion is going on between Jadabharata and King Rahuguna. So now we are into that is day before yesterday, we have read about the chastisement made by the king Rahuguna in a harsh way, to wherein Jadabharata was, he started speaking. Earlier he was that is, he was looking like a dull, and then he was not speaking. He was dumb and deaf like that. But when king started speaking very harsh words, after that he wants to speak out actually. So he spoke about his real situation, in the sense this, that is what is soul, and in a very high level he has told. So that is in the 14th sloka. Yesterday we have studied about the Paramahamsa stages of a devotee. Actually he was situated in the Paramahamsa phase. So the characteristics of the Paramahamsa, and then what are the other things we have studied yesterday? So yesterday we studied about the characteristics of the Paramahamsa phase. So one is like they will never pose themselves as a Paramahamsa, like I am an exalted devotee. If a real devotee or a pure devotee will never pose themselves as a exalted or a liberated person. That is first thing. Second one, how actually his resemblance, or how he will demonstrate himself in front of others, is like a humble servant. Always that the actions, whatever they perform, it will not be an artificial way. It will be a very, very natural way, wherein they will always, that is a quality of a pure devotee. So they will pose themselves as a humble servant only. That is the way of execution of their actions actually. And in any reversible conditions also, they will never feel distress, that God has given this much distress. So like that, they will never feel, they will accept it as the mercy of the Lord. And they will, one more step ahead is, they will agree that is the result of their past misdeeds or whatever actions they have performed in the previous life. So that is the exalted position of a pure devotee. Here, Jadabharata also is performing the similar action here. And so they will be always satisfied in any of the, that is dualities. They would have overcome in the dualities. And in reference to that, we have checked one of the sloka in 10th canto, 14th chapter, 8th sloka, wherein they will be always thinking, one who always waits for the causeless mercy of the Lord and who undergoes the suffering as a misdeeds of the past and offering the respectful obeisances from the heart. That's how they will demonstrate themselves. That humble servant of the Lord is the action of the obeisances, whatever actions they are performing from core of their heart. Such a devotee is eligible as the rightful claim to for the liberation. I humbly request to mute yourself as background noise is coming. Hare Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hare. Thank you all. Okay. So now, in continuation of that, Shukadev Goswami continues to speak with the Parishit Maharaj. So about the that is the king Raghugana. So which region he was ruling, all those things he is going to speak in this sloka. So I request the devotees to hand raise for recitation of the sloka. Hare Krishna. Yes, R. Vijaykumari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Sayi Pandaveya Sindhu Shauvira Padistattva Jinyasayam Samyak Satyadikrutadi Karastat Tridaya Krandi Moshanam Tvejavasha Atrushya Bahu Yoga Kranda Sammadam Tva Yavarushya Sirasa Padamulam Ubashudaha Samabayan Vigada Truba Deva Samya Uvasha. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Madhumai Krishna Kant Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Savirapatis Tattva Jijnasayam Samyak Shraddhaya Adhikruta Adhikaraha Tadhridaya Granthi Mochanam Dvijavacha Ashrutya Bahuyoga Grantasammatam Tvaraya Avaruhya Shirasa Padamulam Upasrutaha Kshamapayan Vigatan Nrupadevasmayaha Uvacha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Subbarao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Pranams Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Sauvira Patistattva Jignasayam Samyak Shraddhayadikrutadhikara Stadhrudaya Granthi Mochanam Dvijavacha Ashrutya Bahuyoga Grantha Sammatam Tvarayavaru Yashirasa Padamoolamupasutaha Kshamapayan Vigatan Rupadevasmayavuvacha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Chitra Mohini Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sachapi Pandavya Sindhu Sovirapatihi Statva Jijnasayam Samyaka Shraddha Yadika Adhikruta Adhikaraha Stadhrudaya Granthi Mochanam Vijavacha Ashrutya Bahyoga Grantha Sammatam Tvaraya Avaruya Shirasa Pada Moolam Upasrutaha Kshamaapayana Vigata Rupadevasmayam Uvacha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Usha Bhaskaran Mataji.
Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Pranam.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Sauvira Patistatva Jignasayam Samaya Shraddhaya Adhikarasya Adhikara Tadrataya Granti Mochanam Dvajavacha Ashrutya Bahuyoga Grantha Sammatam Vayava Yavayorya Shirasa Padamulam Upashrita Shamapayan Vigata Nirpa Deva Samaya Smaya Uvacha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Madhu Soni Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Pranam.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। स चापि पाण्डवेय सिन्धु सवीरपतिस्तत्त्व जिज्ञासायां सम्यक् श्रद्धया अधिकृता अधिकारस्तत् हृदयग्रन्थिमोचनं द्विजवच आश्रित्य बहुयोगग्रन्थसम्मतं त्वरयावरुह्य शिरसा पादमूलम् उपश्रितः क्षमापयन विगत नृपदेवस्मय उवाच। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Venkata Narasimha Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Savirapati Tattva Jignasayam Samyak Shraddhaya Adhikrutadhikara Tadhrudaya Grandhi Mochanam Dvijavacha Asrutya Bahuyoga Grandha Sammatam Tvaraya Avaruhya Sirasa Padamolam Upasrutam Shamapayan Vigatan Rupadeva Smaya Uvacha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes. Pushpam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om
Hare Krishna.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Satsavi Pandaveya Sindhu Savira Padis Tattva Jignasayam Samyak Shraddhaya Adhikrut Adhikaras Tatritya Krandi Mochanam Tvijavasa Asrudya Bahuyoga Granda Sammadam Traya Vrukya Virasarasa Sarasa Padamulam Vupasudaka Samapayan Vigada Dhruva Deva Samya Uvacha. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Revati Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम माताजी
Pranam Mataji.
ससाभिवेय सिंधु सौवीर पदी सत्व जिज्ञान सायं सम्यक् श्रद्धायाधिकृतादाधिकारस् तत्हृदय ग्रंथि मोचनं त्विज वस आश्रित्य बहुयोग ग्रंथ सम्मदं त्रवाय बहुरोय शिरसा पादमूलम् उपसृतः क्षमाभयन् विगत त्रिभुवदेव सम्य उवाच. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, Mataji. Prafulla Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम माताजी.
Pranam
ओम नमो
Mataji.
वासुदेवाय. सचापि पाण्डवेय सिन्धु सौवरपतिः तत्त्व जिज्ञासायां सम्यक् श्रद्धया अधिकृत अधिकारः तद्हृदय ग्रन्थिमोचनं द्विजवच आश्रित्य बहुयोग ग्रन्थ सम्मतं त्वरयावरुह्य शिरसा पादमूलम् उपसृतः क्षमापयन विगत नृपदेव स्मय उवाच. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Anjali Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
सच अपि पाण्डवैः सिन्धु सौवीरपतिः तत्त्वजिज्ञासायां सम्यक् श्रद्धया अधिकृत अधिकारः तत् हृदयग्रन्थिमोचनं ऋजवचः आश्रित्य बहुयोगग्रन्थसम्मतं त्वरया अनुरय्य शिरसा पादमूलम् उपसृतः क्षमापयम् विगत नृपदेव स्मयः उवाच. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your wonderful recitation. So let us go into the sloka. Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Sauvirapatis Tattva Jignasyam Samay Shraddai Adikritas Adhikaras Tat Hridaya Granthi Mochanam Dvijavacha Ashrutaya Bahuyoga Grantha Sammatam Tvaya Tvarayaha Avaruhya Shirasa Padamulam Upasrita Shamapayam Vigata Nripadeva Smaya Uvacha. Synonyms: Sa, he, that is King Maharaja, Rahugana, Cha also, Api, indeed, Pandadevaya, oh, best of Pandava dynasty. Now Sukadev Goswami is addressing Parikshit Maharaj, explaining about the situation of Raghugana. After hearing these words, and there continuously they have a discussion also. On result of that, actually he comes down of that that is planking, and then he fell on the feet actually for forgive. He will ask in the next sloka also the continuation of that. So now Sukadev Goswami is explaining about the conversation between Jadabharata and King Rahugana. So King Sindhu Sauvira Patihi, the king of the states known as Sindhu and Sauvira. He was ruling the states, that is namely Sindhu and Sauvira. Tvat Jignashyam, in the matter of inquiring about the absolute truth. Samyak Shraddaya. Shraddha means the faith. Samyak means at whole, complete whole. That is of the senses. So that is the senses means it as that Jnanendriyas. So he has a complete control of the senses and his mind actually. So he has surrendered now to Jadabharata. In the upcoming sloka also, the continuation it will be there. So he will start inquiring. Jignasa he will be doing actually. Adhikrita Adhikaraha, who attained the proper qualification. So that Hridaya Granthi. So Hridaya Granthi means we have the knot actually in the Hridaya. That means when one is not self-realized and one is acting only in the materialistic way. So this Mahamaya has been covered for the living entity. So that is a great knot. So wherein they will never explore in the spiritual path and they will not be able to realize, they will not be able to approach to any of the higher authorities. So the Hridaya Granthi means it is a strong knot in the material world, the material activities wherein the Mahamaya is covered actually. So the Hridaya Granthi, the knot of false conception within the heart. So false conception means we are thinking what is not real is as a real. So that is the assumptions we always make, wherein we feel that is only real. Whatever we are visualizing, it is only real. So whichever is not, we are not able to understand, whichever is beyond our visualization is not in the scope of a thing, our thought process, our realizations at all. Mochanam, which eradicates. Dvija Dvija means, that means a Brahmana, so twice born. So Vacha, speaking, the words of the Brahmana. Ashrutaha, hearing. Bahuyoga Grantha Sammatam, approved by all yogic process and their scriptures from the Vedic injections. Paraya, very hastily. Avaruhaya, getting down. So King Raghugana gets down from the palanquin. So Shirasa, by his head, bowing down. Pada Mulanam, at the lotus feet. Upashritaha, falling down flat to offer obeisances. Shamapayam, he is asking because he has done offenses. So that's why he is asking for a forgiveness. So Shamapayam, obtaining pardon for his offense. Vigata Nripadeva Smaya, giving up the false pride of being the king and therefore being worshipable. Vacha said. So king's position is a worshipable position by the subjects, his own subjects. So he comes down, he realizes the real situation and he comes down from the palanquin and he falls down asking for the forgiveness actually. So he comes out of the false pride. That means whatever he was assuming, he has taken a role now currently as a king. He is not the king himself. He is holding that position. So he started realizing after having conversation with the great sage Jadabharata. Translation is translation by Srila Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sukadev Goswami continues, O best of Pandu dynasty, this Parishit Maharaj, the king of Sindhu and Sauvira states, this Maharaj Raghugana had great faith in discussions of the absolute truth. So as after the last sloka, they continued that actually the discussions, and then earlier also he had a strong faith in the spiritual things. So that has actually taken him to the heart. Thus being qualified, he heard from Jadabharata that philosophical presentation which is approved by all scriptures on the mystic yoga process and which slackens the knot in the heart, which slackens the knot in the heart. Actually, he started listening what is the soul and Sankhya philosophy. So Sankhya philosophy was given by Kapiladeva. So that philosophy he hears from that is from great saint Jadabharat. So and those are the philosophy which has been approved by all the Vedic scriptures, and he's been that is how to control the mind, senses, all those things has been spoken by Jadabharat to the king Raghugana here, and which made him to, that is, he was already tied with a knot, that is of the Mahamaya. So that got slackened, that means it's getting relieved actually. Slackens the knot in the heart actually. He started listening sincerely by surrendering himself to the pure devotee. His material conception of himself as a king, he being holding a position, like how Brahma is also a position, Indra is also holding a position. They are not the they are not the permanent people who will be sticking to that post as the time and as the yuga changes. So that is creation, maintenance, and annihilation, again creation. This is a cycle which always happens. Wherein for every creation, there will be a new Brahma will be created by the Lord. So that is a position, like how we have the prime minister position, president position in the current material world. It is a position. It is not defining any person's characteristics here. So that is the here we are seeing the material position, whereas those are the different levels of that is that is 17 worlds. 14 worlds above us we are the seventh world actually, the earth being the seventh planet actually. Above that we have the Bhur, these lokas and all, Swarga Loka, Jana Loka, Tapoloka, Brahma Loka or Satya Loka, these lokas. So based on the creation actually, the ruling person will be, that is the living entity will be created by the Lord. So at the time of creation. So Brahma is also a position, and there are multiple universes, innumerable universes, and we have in our universe is Chaturmukha Brahma. So not only Chaturmukha Brahma, as we have studied in multiple places in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavadam. So here the material conception, all the worlds are in the material world only, material nature only. So the material conception, he being himself as a king, and that position he was holding. So those things are all misconception actually. It is a temporary. He came to understand actually after having the discussions of the absolute truth with the great sage Jadabharat. His material conception of himself as a king was thus destroyed. So he felt he is a soul. So he who has taken this body, he immediately descended. So he came now down from the palanquin and fell flat on the ground with his head at the lotus feet of Jadabharata, and in such a way that he might be excused. He is asking for the forgiveness for his insulting words against the great Brahmana, that is, he is a Vaishnava. Then he prayed as follows, actually. As following, he is praying. That is the next sloka it will cover. In Bhagavad Gita, similarly, we have a purport that is purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. In Bhagavad Gita 4.2, wherein the 4.1, 4.2 and all defines the history of this Bhagavad Gita spoken earlier by Lord Krishna. So, evam parampara praptam imam rajashayo viduhu Sakalena Mahata Yoga Nashta Parantapa. So this chain of disciplic succession has been lost in due course. That's what Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna there. It is supreme science. So the Vedic knowledge, that is the real knowledge, that is a science, was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. That is from Sri Krishna to the sun god, and to sun god to the Manu, and then to the Manu to the Ikshvaku, and after that, that chain of transition of the knowledge has lost. That's what in this sloka it has been represented here. And the saintly kings understood it in that way. So that's even the kings who ruled the world, this material world also, they were highly qualified. That means they are all saintly kings. So why the qualification is required as a saintly? Because once the king practices. So actually we have studied in Bhagavad Gita also. The subjects also will follow the Mahatma actually. So whoever has made some these practices, and then like how we are following the now Srila Prabhupada's instructions. So those instructions, obviously, the followers also will certainly I think one of the sloka is there in 4th chapter only, I think. 4th or 5th chapter, I'm not able to recollect exactly the sloka. So there, whatever the process which has been established, which has been injected in the parampara, so those things will be followed by the disciples of that parampara. Similarly here, the saintly kings who have understood the real knowledge, and king being the protector of the subjects, not only the material protection, but also the spiritual status also needs to be protected for the subjects, so that they also attain the salvation. So they will be training the subjects. So that's why the king should be in the saintly position. If king is not in saintly position, accordingly, the same characteristics also will, whatever he is practicing, the same thing also will be followed by the subjects, and ultimately it will go into the degradation of the society. So that's the qualification of a king is expected, the saintly kings. So what can anyone give some other examples of the kings who has followed this? And they will be called as a Raja Rishis actually. So who are following the spiritual thing, and who have been performing their practices in the saintly manner. So those kings are called as Raja Rishis. Can someone give the example similar way here? Maharaj Raghugun being a saintly king only. So he was not aware of the
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Yes. Even one more actually.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Janak Maharaj. Yes, in Bhagavad Gita, we have studied about Janak Maharaj. Correct na? Even Dasarath Maharaj also. So like that, they always protect. That is the who have, and their subjects. They will be. That is their major. That is as per the Varnashrama, king meant to take care of the subject and perform the welfare activities for the subject. So here, the saintly kings understood in this way only. So, but that's why those days and all in different yugas, when it was ruled by the saintly kings, even the subjects were also more satisfied. There were not much hankering for saving the wealth, or still working for very hard working, day and night working, and making the properties more. Those type of things were not there. They were actually inclined to more to the spiritual elevation, not the materialistic elevation. So the self-containment was there, and Srila Prabhupada, we have studied in many purports that we don't have any scarcity here actually, and food, everything, shelter, everything there is abundant available. But problem is, we are lording it over, and one person taking the huge quantity, that is the quota, not as per the quota, and others are starving actually. That's the imbalance we are seeing in the current yuga actually. So the person who is becoming rich is becoming rich only is doing. See, it is ardent effort. We need to, it doesn't mean that one should not do endeavors to become a rich or nothing like that. But we should have a self-containment in whatever we are doing. And then the basic needs, if the basic needs are met, and we have to utilize the extra thing, whatever we are earning, to the welfare of the, that is the society in a, by practicing in the Krishna conscious way. So doing 50% of the income as a, that is in for the temples or the spiritual activities. So for those things, it obviously it will, the outcome of all those things will reach to the subjects only. So one should aim for that. For the welfare of the people is like giving donations, charity and all is good only, but it should be performed in the God-centric way, that is Krishna-centric way. That will always help the one person to relieve from the entanglement of this birth and death. So there is an assurance for going back of God. One practices the spiritual things in a perfect way. Here King Raguna is gaining knowledge from this great sage Jadabharat. So here the supreme science, that is the Krishna consciousness, is thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. And the saintly kings also understood in that way, whatever way it has been taught, in that way only. But in course of time, the succession was broken. So after Ikshvaku. So, and therefore the science as it is appeared to be lost. And it lost. And again, during the Kurukshetra war, Supreme Lord took the opportunity, and then the situation also was created by him, so that Arjuna will start asking. He was in the mode of lamentation and sorrow and a great grief for the major loss which is going to occur after this war. He was feeling bad. He doesn't want to wage the war against his own kith and kin, and then he want to leave that Kurukshetra field only. He want to take a karma sannyasa. So that's why Lord Shri Krishna is chastising him, and then in a very affectionate way, and then giving the knowledge actually. Therefore the science as it appears to be lost, it was lost. And again in Kurukshetra war, again this the supreme science was spoken, and that's why we are also able to, through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to read and hear on day-to-day basis actually on this platform. Through the disciplic succession, the royal order was on the same platform as the saintly person, Raja Rishis. So they were following the spiritual path, and that is the ruling was not with respect to only the materialistic gain or materialistic way, but it has the God-centric way of performing the actions actually. Formally, they could understand the philosophy of life and knew how to train the citizen. This is a very important part actually. So training the citizen to come to the same standard, similar way, that will elevate the subjects or the citizens to go back to Godhead. In other words, they knew how to deliver the citizen from the entanglement of birth and death. That's how the ruling was there. When Maharaj Dasharatha ruled Ayodhya, the great sage Vishwamitra, I think this pastime actually we know, he came to him and to take away Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana to the forest to kill a demon. He want to take he want to do tapas. So he was in the Jnana platform. So he want to do tapas. So there obviously the demons will come and disturb. So to God, from that he was requesting King Maharaja, that is Maharaj Dasharatha, to send Ramchandra and Lakshmana along with them. So when saintly person Vishwamitra came to the court of Maharaj Dasharatha, the king was inquiring actually how is that is the spiritual path is progressing. That's what he was asking. In order to receive the saintly person, he was speaking, asked him, Adishtam yattat punarjanma jaya, how to conquer this birth and death. So generally the tapas is like we are getting situated in the that is Samadhi state. So whether he has reached, whether he is able to perform that, that's what the question asked by King Dasaratha to the great sage Vishwamitra. He asked the sage whether everything was going on well in his endeavor, that is whatever practice he is doing to conquer the repeated birth and death, that is moksha. He is asking for the salvation, whether he is able to attain. The whole process of Vedic civilization is based on that. Even Vedic injunctions also tells about this. We must know how to conquer the repeated birth and death. But as we have seen, different yoga practices like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Out of all these four, Bhakti Yoga is the easiest way, but practice will be, it is daily practice is a must. It's easy to perform, but practicing is a difficult process. So because one may forget to perform certain things on a day. So all these things, and time availability, managing the things, all those things happen. There may be many obstacles will be coming, but the process is simple. It's a dialectically like from elevator, we can reach the top floor. Whereas karma, jnana, dhyana, it's like a passing through the staircase. This picture, I think we would have visualized in the 18 days of 6th chapter. So in Dhyana Yoga. So in the highest is the Bhakti Yoga. So Maharaj Raghuvan also knew that purpose of, he also knew that purpose of life. Therefore, when Jadabharata put the philosophy of life before him in the earlier sloka, so he immediately appreciated it. This is the foundation of Vedic history. So knowing oneself, who am I, and what is the primary duty of a living entity here, and then what is the nature of this world, and then what one must do to attain the Supreme Lord. So all these things, when one person is able to understand, obviously that is the foundation of the Vedic society. Learned scholars, Brahmanas, saintly persons and sages who are fully aware of this knowledge, purpose of this life, advised. That's why earlier, even Yudhishthira Maharaj, all kings will have their advice from the great Brahmanas. So Brahmanas always in the advising position. So that is their duty, because they have been very well taken care with respect to the shelter, food, everything. And he no need to worry about his own, that is how to survive in this world. That part has been taken care by the Kshatriyas, the kings, and Brahmanas. The Brahmanas' advice is very, very important to rule the country in a peaceful way, in a saintly way. So here the Brahmanas or saintly persons, always the purpose of them will be like they advise the royal order how to benefit the general mass. Always it will be the welfare of the society, and by their occupation as Varnashrama, as per Varnashrama. So Brahmanas will be always giving the knowledge to the people without any expectation, without any in return. They will always share the knowledge. They will advise. They will educate. So these are the major role of a Brahmana, wherein Kshatriyas will be ruling the world as per the guidance of the Brahmanas, and Vaishyas will be taking care of the agriculture, milk, all those things, that is cow protection, all those things will be taken care by the business community comes under Vaishyas, and the Shudras will be serving the above 3 Varnas. So there were all Varnas are interdependent on each other, and there is nothing like one Varna is higher, another Varna is lower. The society, if the society is running in a peaceful manner, means all these 4 Varnas are acting in the balanced way, and every Varna is very important for the society. So there is nothing low or high with respect to the way job, whatever they are doing. So here, therefore, the Brahmanas, Raghuguna attained this perfection of understanding the value of human life, and therefore he regretted. So he feels bad actually, whatever he has spoken, the way of putting harsh words or criticizing Jadabharata, he is feeling the insulting words of Jadabharata. And then he immediately descended from that palanquin, and then he descended from his palanquin and fell down at the lotus feet of Jadabharata in order to be excused, forgiveness, and hear from him further about the values of life. He is doing Brahma Jignasa, he is inquiring. I think we know there are 4 types of Sukrutinos. Correct? Now, what are the 4 types of Sukrutinos? Can anyone tell? Who always pray to God? Who, those who are Jignashu. Correct? Na? Artha, Artharthi. So Artho, Artha, Artharthi. That means who are in distress, who are in search of the wealth, and then Jignasa, who has been asking, inquisitive in learning, that is in asking more, that is more and more they want to ask. Actually, they want to gain knowledge. And then Jnani, out of the 4, Jnani is very dear to God actually. So even though these 4, that is the 4 type of people are always serving the Lord. This is what we have studied in Bhagavad Gita. Here, King Raghugana is in the 3rd one, that is Jignasa. So at present moment, high government officials, now the current materialistic world in Kali Yuga, where this world has been ruled by the ignorant, actually. That is the real value of life is never taught in any of the governments actually. Leave about our country, in any country, the real value of life. You are a soul and what is your duty, nothing has been taught. Even in any education system, this type of that is knowledge has not been, is the real knowledge that is never been taught actually. Values of life. And when saintly persons endeavor to broadcast, so it is the duty of the saintly person, that is Brahmana, he will that is endeavor, he try to broadcast this Vedic knowledge so that the subjects will get this knowledge and they will work on that. That means they practice that and then they will attain the Godhead. That is the lotus feet of the Lordhead. But in the current situation, that is not at all possible. The so-called executives do not offer their respectful obeisances, but try to obstruct the spiritual propaganda. This is what happening actually here. It's even more degrading actually. There is like, see in God's creation, there is no discrimination. Every every creation has its own purpose, and there are 84 lakhs type of species. We are one living entity is getting transformed, and in out of that, human form is the highest level actually. It's and wherein it can try out for the salvation, at least minimum level for a salvation. So, but the highest level is always to serve the Lord. So we are always the eternal servants of the Lord. Thus, one can say that the former kingly government was like heaven. It's like a Swarga, and the present government is like hell. That's how the real situation a person is able to understand, means they will certainly feel the current situation is like a hell. We no need to go for that is whatever, we don't know whatever sins or that is good deeds we have done, but obviously for the sin we have to go for suffering actually. It may be hell or it may be some other location after we leave the body, but now we are only seeing the hell situation here. Very nicely put up in this purport actually, where we should always say thankful to Srila Prabhupada for the wonderful purports he has given for us to realize in a very, very, very simple manner actually. Correct now? So how to practice this actually, this bhakti? Can anyone give some insights on that? We to have some slokas daily also we recite. Nashta prayeshu badareshu. Correct na? Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya. So Nityam Bhagavada Seva. We have to do that. So daily we should do hearing of Bhagavatam, by hearing the activities, by hearing the glorification of the Supreme Lord or his devotees. So one will certainly, there is a knot, it has been put now, it has been told here, we'll be able to cut that knot in the heart. So that is a strong knot we are seeing in our life, wherein we are very strongly attached. Where is that knot? Which slackens the knot in the heart. It is very clearly, we have to slacken that, we have to release that. So Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, that is Abhadreshu means inauspicious. correct na? So which is inauspicious. That means it's like we will be always here suffering due to our ignorance. That is the root cause of all our sufferings. From ignorance only, we have multiple other sub subjects like desires, and we have enviousness, we'll be greed, we'll be so all those things. These are all that 6 type of thing: kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, makshara. All these things will arise and actually, correct na? Because of our uncontrolled mind, and accordingly the intelligence and the senses also will act accordingly. We don't have any control. When you get anger, we will purely, whatever we speak is out of our control only, and we may feel bad after speaking that, correct na? So these type of things we have to come out of that. So nashta prayeshu, nashta, it will destroy. So which will destroy? Actually, all the inauspiciousness will get destroyed. Nashta prayeshu bad abhadreshu. Yeah. By performing what actually? Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya. So one should always do the Bhagavada Sevaya. So hearing Srimad Bhagavatam daily basis will help to cleanse and all these unwanted stuff, whatever we are having in the heart actually. Any other realizations you can speak out here? I will be closing this session. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpadarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामचर्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे,